Hey everybody, welcome back. It's for some more Dungeons & Dragons Online. So today we're going to be tackling the Keep on the Borderlands quests. There are a lot of them, a total of 8 here. These quests are fairly short, so we'll be able to get through a few of them per video here. The easiest way, I definitely recommend, as they are all located next to one another out in the Slayer area, the wilderness there, would be to pick them all up, save you guys yourselves the trip. And while we're here, right next to them, you'll see the weaponsmith right here. If you look on the map, he's located as the little pyramid of purple dots. And what's to note about him is you can actually exchange some of those ingots that you can get from the Slayer area for either level 2 or level 20 gear. So as an example of the level 2 gear, you can get items such as a specific rune arm, as well as other weapons, scepters, which provide, spell focus damage, as well as other just base weapons. And for their level, they're really not too bad. Trying to find. And a good point is they actually have some ethereal ones, which are Ghost Touch. So for those who are playing on a Reaper difficulty, which I will be doing here actually in these quests, it provides you that Ghost Touch to bypass a Reaper's damage reduction. Or not damage reduction, to bypass the Reaper's incorporeality. That way you don't score the hit, but miss because it's essentially a ghost. Alright, so the quests, they are all located up this way. It's not too far, it's just over that hill right there. Since I just logged in, gonna create ourselves some bolts here, that way I don't step into the quest and we're out of ammo. You know what, I don't have a cloak right now, I might as well equip that for a little extra PRR. Let's also get our memorial ribbon. Now this item is an older item. It's no longer available. It doesn't actually do anything other than above your left shoulder. Adds a little ribbon there. This was released a few years back. I don't know if you guys remember the Boston Marathon bombing. At the time, their main office was located actually just a few blocks away from that. So it was their way to immortalize the struggles that had happened, and just their way to remember. And as I've had some friends go down in other ways, it's my way to memorialize them as well. So that's why I sport the ribbon here, even after all these years. Alright, so we're going to start here with the Cobalt Caves. Now, I do want to point out that in these quests, though there are 8 of them, 3 specific quests drop a crest. Now, these crests are actually used to unlock an optional in one of the other quests here. This one actually here I find to be the hardest crest to obtain, because there's a few specifics that need to be reached in order to unlock that. So the first thing I want to point out here is right around the corner here we've got a control panel.
Most of the kobolds scramble to defend their cave at the side of you, while one of their number scampers away.
And the first thing to point out is you have to stop that kobold runner.
Who knows what else the kobold tribe might bring to bear against you?
Alright, So this trap box here, what that does is it shuts this door. So if you don't get that, this floor will break and you will actually drop farther down. I will be going that direction there, just to show you guys what's down there, as well as there is an optional to do. So we're going to head out this way. So this is the optional path here that you would go if you had fallen down that trap there.
Now that that king rat is dead, long live the new king. You. The first order of business might as well be to survey your domain.
As you can see, there are some hidden doors here.
You slide through the muck and refuse into a pool of stagnant slop.
So this is where you would...
It's just not your day.
You would have fallen if you had gone through that path. You would have fallen down here and had to make your way up through these. They can be a little difficult, but they're overly not too bad. They're just, you know, some rats. So as well, they give you access to shrines right here at the end. And then you would just make your way back up to the start. Alright, so from here there is a split. We're going to want to head north first. With the key we picked up from the rats, we can unlock this door here. As well, down that path, there's another key that you can pick up. So if you don't fall, it's not like you have to come back. But you do got to enter in this room here. It is part of the objective to explore the caves. As well as it gives you an extra little chest here. Nothing's fancy, but, you know, loot is loot. And then finally we get into this room here. Alright, so there's our first Reaper. They are a unique mob that only spawns in the Reaper difficulty. Now, there are a few different types of Reapers. Each Reaper has its own unique, specific ability. Alright, and there's that other iron key if you didn't go that way. So each Reaper has its own unique special ability. And, you know, it takes a little bit of time to learn which ones they do. Ultimately, they're like an elite type enemy. They hit really hard and, you know, can party wipe. Alright, now before I go through this door here, what's key is not to attack. If we attack right away,
kobold demands your attention,
it will
calling for the cessation of
stop
hostilities.
everything. So we can actually talk to the guy if we have the skills. So this is where having those speech skills comes in handy, or at least somebody in your party.
The kobolds react to the news
We
of
can
their
actually
chief's
talk
death.
to him there,
It seems like
and he will provide us with the kobold
the
charm
elderly
of
kobold
evil
offers you a
chaos.
reward for freeing her tribe from the tyrannical war chief.
And
A secret door
that is our
slides
first
open in
of
the
the
common
three
chamber.
kind of
You've made a
crests
deal
there,
with the tribe.
the charms.
Strike down their leader to gain their support. According to the kobold crone, their chief has been behaving strangely ever since he brought the charm of evil chaos to the cave. She's happy to be rid of both the chief and the vile talisman.
So yeah, that's the way to get this one. Why it's so hard is you gotta kill that kobold runner. If you don't kill that kobold runner, they actually get angry inside there. And then you'll be forced to fight them. If you fight them, you don't get the dialogue option to get the
walls. These must
little
be the
crest
caves
there
of
that you need.
chaos, where the cultists and their monster allies have made their base.
Alright, so the next one we're going to hit up is the Hobgoblin Caves. A little bit of door lag there. Alright. So these ones are still a little bit newer to me. I know this content's been out for a while.
You enter the caves,
but
determined to eliminate
I don't generally
another
run
threat
this
to the
too
residents
much,
of the
and
keep.
when I do run it, I just kind of run right to the end. Alright. So this one here, when you first enter, you head off to the right. There are 4 little goblins here. Once you kill all 4,
As the last goblin dies,
it drops a
you
key.
notice something glittering
Battery
in the debris
low.
under the makeshift wooden
And
walkway.
apparently my headset is dying. Just one moment here.
Charging battery.
Alright, sorry about that.
The lock on this stout door does not look pickable. The guardroom door opens with the squeal of metal on metal, rousing the guards on the far side.
Alright, so now that we got one of these as well. So another unique thing about Reaper difficulty is they will actually drop these items called Lost Souls. Now, first off, I just love the look of them. But what these Lost Souls do is they allow one person in the party. So unlike collectibles where everybody can pick up, or the treasure bags that drop, these are a one person only. So if I pick it up, somebody else in the group cannot. And what they do is they actually restore a set amount of spell points based on the level of the quest. So these are a level 1 quest, making them a level 3 on Reaper, as it does add 2 levels to the base level of the quest. And then so a level 3 quest would be dropping that 20 spell points. And another thing that is good for Reaper is, based on the difficulty of the quest, is how much experience you get. So the first time you complete Reaper difficulty, you actually get a bonus amount of experience. And here's another chunk here. You've never played it. You get played on Reaper, bravery bonus plus 100%. So it does increase the amount. So the first time you do a quest, you want to do it as hard as you can to get the most experience out of it. Now with Reaper, they also add another little amount of Reaper thing here, which is Reaper experience. So right now we're at 174. We get that on top of the base quest. However, it doesn't go into our main experience. What it does go is it goes to our Reaper enhancement trees. And this goes towards unlocking the various abilities in these trees, which will definitely help us out in fighting Reaper, making us a lot stronger. Each tree has a different spec, which will go more in depth once we hit level 4 and can actually use that. Alright. So now we're just back to clearing the enemies here. Alright. So we'll head down the
As the
western
door
path
opens,
first.
a small goblin cries out, "Meat sheath now! You go away!"
So down this
The
path
goblin
here, there's a
falls.
lone goblin,
Looking around, you
who actually
spot
drops
an
an
iron key in
iron
the back
key.
of the chamber.
which is required to open up the door going east out the entrance there. And then this side here is essentially an optional path It is not required to complete the quest. All that's required is to go down that other path, get the key, and then you can head back to the start to go the other path. However, down here, it does have, one, a shrine, but it has our first lever.
The orange crystal flares to life as the lever is pulled. Somewhere in the tunnels, another crystal responds.
And then
you
again,
hear the squeal of rats from the doorway ahead.
Down this path, it doesn't have anything. It is a dead end. All it has is a couple of kills, some breakables to get. So, for the sake of full completionist, I am going to go and grab these. Now, I do want to point out, all these little bonuses here also will increase the amount of Reaper XP you get. So if you're looking to get that Reaper experience, it does help to get all the bonuses here. As well, the higher Reaper difficulty that you do, as Reaper has technically 10 different difficulty levels called skulls. So right now we're just doing one skull, or as people call it, just Reaper 1. It goes all the way up to Reaper 10, making things quite a bit difficult. And actually ran right past where we need to go. So that first lever that we pulled actually opens up this little door here, which has our second lever right there.
The red crystal begins to glow, and the sound of stone scraping on stone,
which then
echoes
opens
out
up
from the
a
goblin's common area.
cave for us to go here.
A foul stench wafts out from this newly opened cavern.
It has a singular ogre for another little bit of experience. Now again, this chest doesn't actually obtain any named loot. Just, again, another random loot chest and a little bit of extra experience for us. Alright, so now we gotta head back all the way to the very start of the quest here. And now we head east. The key that we had the key that we had picked up from that lone goblin is now used to unlock this door.
This heavy iron-bound door is fitted with an unpickable magical lock. The door swings open on well-oiled hinges, startling the hobgoblins on the far side.
So without that key, we would not be able to get there. And I do believe if we click on the letter here, so it does state you can't enter without the chieftain's iron key. That little goblin that we killed, he claimed to be the chieftain.
You hear the sounds of guttural chanting coming from the chamber ahead.
Alright, and now we have another unique puzzle. It's essentially a game of Simon Says,
seals off the
or
passage.
rather memory.
Perhaps the magical runes on the wall are the key
So
to
we
opening
just start
it.
the lever. It'll tell which ones we're supposed to hit. Lights up. Each one is a little bit harder. If you do get it wrong, it does restart the whole thing. But again, it is fairly easy. I know if you're lagging a little bit, as sometimes it does happen in these types of games, it really makes those puzzles almost impossible. I know there was once I had failed because the game had kind of lagged visually, and it wasn't actually lighting up which ones I was supposed to hit, and it was just coming through with the sound. Let me tell you, that was a tough one. Luckily though, once it failed and it reset, it had reset those the lights there for me as well. Alright,
Scrabbling and chittering can be heard from the hallway ahead.
so where it breaks off, going north, or sorry, continues west and then north or south. If you head to the south, it's actually an optional
A
here
strange creature erupts from the ground as you approach.
for an Umber Hulk. Now these guys can be really
The Umber
dangerous.
Hulk
I know when
crumples
they
to the ground,
first
its
added them
heavy
to the
carapace
game,
clattering on the stones.
it was not a fun experience. We will be coming across more of them in a bit there. Actually, you know what? I don't have any boots right now. Alright. Now at this point we have another 2 directions that we can go.
A massive iron gate bars this passage.
We have, you know, further to the west or to the south. So we're going to start by going to the west here. So we
This
got a
small
shrine.
chamber looks like a safe place to rest.
And then this door here leads to basically like an... Oh, no. Wrong way. Thought I was a little bit further along. Alright.
The wall in the
There we
armory
go.
slides open, making barely a sound.
Alright, that actually leads to the end of the quest there. So I'm going to head back and go through that trapped path here for us. First, I did forget that. Again, it's been so long since I've done these ones. Now these traps, there is no trap box for them, but they are fairly easy to just time. And at the end of it, it does have a lever to
When
simply
the lever
shut
is
them off.
pulled, the traps in the hall grind to a halt. You hear deep voices in conversation up ahead.
Alright, so this is the room I thought it was. It's kind of like a giant
The
mess hall.
hobgoblins in the feast hall fall silent as you enter the chamber.
And in it, it just has a whole bunch of enemies.
The last of the hobgoblins lets out a
Nothing
sharp
special.
whistle just before he dies,
Once they-
summoning reinforcements.
Once you defeat the first wave, it does spawn a second wave, though. Now, I do want to point out, if you are going for the max bonus here, you do need to come down this path. Otherwise, you will only get the tier 2 for the slaying. And again, another shrine here. So as you can see, there are a plethora of shrines available to use in these quests. Alright, so back to where we were. Alright, here. We got all those bonuses. There he goes, off that path. We can actually scoot by him, though in this case he did see us. Again, sorry about that. So
Chieftain
he
slumps
spawns
to the ground, dead. The
in this room
hobgoblin
here.
chieftain lurches out of his throne with a roar.
There are some, you know, breakables that you can get, though if you've grabbed everyone to this point, you'll already have that full bonus. And here is the named chest. We've gotten faded leathers. Nah. Now, going towards the north, there is another door here, which is locked. If you have somebody, again, who can pick locks or knock them, such as a caster, you can actually get in here for a second chest, which is also locked. This chest, again, no name loot, just another random generated loot chest. But sometimes the random generated loot is the best loot. sometimes. And that's it for the Hobgoblin quest here. So we're going to recall out and then head on to our next one here. One moment while I grab a drink of water. Alright. Okay. So from this point here, we can actually just climb up the cliff right here. And then there's a little stone staircase. And just up here, we'll have our next quest, which is the Knoll Caves. Now, the Knoll Caves here is where we can actually obtain our second of the 3 crests. So yeah, here's that skull difference that I was talking about. Once you get, I think it's either 5 or 6 skulls. I do believe it is 6. It adds in a few new Reapers. So 1 to 5, there's only 4. Once you hit 6 to 10, I believe it's either 6 to 10 or 5 to 10, it adds in 3 new Reapers to deal with there as well. For the sake of these videos, I am just sticking with 1 skull, as that is where I feel most comfortable being able to get through easiest, as well as it also gives us the bonus to the experience there.
Just as you brace yourself for a fight, another gnoll calls out to you in a shrill voice.
You there! If you're looking for a way inside, I've got just the thing. But I might need something myself.
Eula Bloodlean, daughter of the Gnoll chieftain,
Alright, so
has
this
given
one
you
here,
a charm of evil chaos
super
to help
easy.
You infiltrate the camp.
You walk in, you
She
talk
and
to the Gnoll,
Outlanders want to leave
and
the
it immediately
Borderlands.
drops the charm that you need. From here, just continue on inside. So this charm is super easy to get.
The guards scramble to let you pass. Just as Eula said, a visitor from the Cult of Evil Chaos commands their attention.
Now, this one has a couple optionals here, one of which is these little rune stones here.
You find a stone slab inscribed with... You find Rhea Brasstuck's diary hidden in the dirt. It seems Rhea admires Kolva Pebbleskin.
Alright, here. So first we're going to head, it does give us 2 choices here. We're going to head off to the east. And I do recommend talking to all the named gnolls. So this one here is just an Outlander muscle, Outlander spell slot. They're not named, but this guy has Oro Sandcloak. It is a name. I do recommend talking to them.
Vermin squirm inside the sealed chamber. When the creatures notice you, they attack. The last of the vermin lets out a mangled shriek as you knock it into the dirt.
Alright. Here again, just right around the corner here. The second of the 3 tablets.
This tablet belongs to a gnoll named Boomfoot, who claims to know a dark secret about Zart's Soot Club. Talking to Boomfoot could be very useful.
Alright, so when our main objective is to convince the Outlanders to turn against the cult, these are the 3 right here. In this same room, there's also the 3rd tablet.
You've stumbled across Kolva Pebbleskin's diary. The Outlander writes about losing her lucky rat bone. Finding it might persuade her to join your side.
And what we could do is we can actually talk to them, and they each give us a speechcraft skill. If we don't have the skill, like we had failed that one there, just a bad roll, it doesn't actually let us re-roll them. Ooh, another bad roll. That one was a good one. So that had convinced us. So because we failed on both these 2, it doesn't actually let us give us a second chance. So it is good to let the one with the highest of the speechcraft skill talk to their individual person. But if you're not able to, don't worry. You can obviously still progress through the quest. Alright, so I do also want to point out that just here there's a little alcove. It does have some loot here to a locked chest, which again, pick it or knock it, or if you happen to have any bells of opening from the DDO store, those will work as well. Alright, now these are not too bad, so because we failed on those two, all that happens is it asks us to go back and basically complete little extra tasks. So ask Boomfoot about Zark.
Boomfoot
It gives you
reveals that
a
Zark
secret.
Club, the renowned Outlander fighter, can't stand the sight of blood.
And that
Time to
secret
let
will
Zark
allow
know
you
what
to
you know.
continue progressing there as well, and be able to convince them. So essentially, if you can't bluff, intimidate, or diplomacy them, then you blackmail them. As well, while you're going through, we need to talk to the chieftain, and we need to use the Shrine of Evil Chaos here.
You spot a gemstone ring among the rubble of bones and blood. Oro said Gravemaw always wore a ring like that before he went to serve the cult. This proof of Gravemaw's death will convince the Outlanders once and for all that they should abandon the cult.
Alright, and so right in this shrine room as well, they do have the rat bone necklace, which you use for one of the other gnolls there as well. So now that we've done that little side, it's time to head back to those 3 gnolls. This one can be done really, really quickly if we just, head in and you succeed on all 3 checks.
The
Once
Gnoll
you
nods in
complete
agreement.
all of that,
You've convinced enough Gnoll Outlanders
it kinda
to turn
fades
against
to
Chief
black here.
Bloodgleam and her cultists. You've convinced members of the tribe to turn against the cult of evil chaos and found proof that Chief Bloodgleam has been
And
lying about sending the Outlanders
basically it's
to
just
work
moving
with the
everybody
cultists.
from their
This
location
should
to
be
the
more
end
than
here.
enough to create an uprising in the Gnoll's ranks.
And here we are.
Chief Bloodgleam bellows at the crowd.
You would trust this outsider over your own chief? Have you forgotten everything the cult has done for you idiots?
The Outlanders seem to reconsider, but you have something that will convince them. You hold up Gravemaw's bloody ring and reveal that you found it in the chief's shrine.
Chief said Gravemaw joined the cult!
Someone shouts.
But Gravemaw never took off that ring! He's dead and will be next!
Alright,
Another
once
group
you
of
defeat
gnolls
the
rushes
first
into the
wave,
chamber.
it does spawn a couple more in the tunnel here. And there's our second Reaper here. The Famine Reaper is a spellcaster. They do like their magic missile, which
You
can
think
hurt
you've won against the onslaught of
quite a
Gnoll
lot
cultists,
if you're not
but
prepared
then
for it.
another wave floods in, pouring
They also
with
like
blood and
to
chaos.
negative level your character as well.
You look around the blood-stained earth. Not a single
Alright.
cultist remains standing.
So once
The
you go
Outlanders
through
cheer,
and
relieved that they
defeat
can
all
finally
these
leave the
cultists,
Borderlands behind.
alright,
Those fools!
let them
I
finish
can't
talking
believe
first.
they took the bait!
Eula stands beside Oro, who laughs with her. There must be more to these two than it initially seemed.
So once you go through and kill them all, just down here where our little extra chest was, it spawns in these 2 here. And this I love. Ultimately, she had her, kind of dark, but went through and had her kill her own father stops the cult, sure, but it also so that they can be together.
With Chief Bloodgroom and the other cultists out of the way,
And
Eula and
here's
Orin
our
can
end chest.
finally escape into the wilds together. As they turn to leave, Eula tells you to hold on to the charm of evil chaos she gave you, in case you need help defeating the rest of the cult.
Alright, so from that one, we can go ahead and recall right out. And I got time for one more of these quests here. That'll be 4. And that'll be half of those quests. So if we actually just continue down this path, we're going to come across Temple of Evil Chaos. Now this one here is supposed to be the very last one. So for now, we are going to skip it. Heading just up around the corner here.
Small, squalid cave entrances dot the ravine walls.
And straight
These
to
must be
this
the
quest
caves of
here.
chaos, where the cultists and their monster allies have made their base.
Alright, so this one is the treasury. It's kind of an interesting one. It's supposed to, I guess, be like the old labyrinth with the matador at the middle. It's honestly, it's not that maze-like.
The door behind
All
you
you gotta
seals
do
shut
is
as you enter. There's now
basically
only
stick
one
to
way
the
to go.
left,
Forward.
and it'll take
That's
you all the
fine
way
with me,
around.
as this cave
getting
is said to contain
full
much
bonus.
treasure. A burly minotaur stands behind a magical barrier, guarding a pile of treasure. Always more. Always more. The minotaur snorts. Greed draws you adventurers like moths to the flame. Have fun starving in my cave with the treasure just out of reach.
Alright, so there was another Reaper. That one was a Fear Reaper. And what those do is they cast like a fairly large AoE that just steadily does a little bit of damage per second there, increasing as he gets more and more stacks on you. Alright, so the first crest that we need is just on the other side of this trap. Now if you don't have a trapper, as you can see, it's not too hard to time these flame jets. There's not even a lot of flame jets, and you can just go right through. Because I am a trapper, we can just stop, grab the trap, and not have to worry about it.
This crest matches one of the sockets on the Minotaur's barrier. There must be more somewhere in the cave.
Alright, and again, we just keep heading to the left. It'll actually
The
bring us
webs that cover
to
the walls
an
of this
optional.
part of the cave quiver for an instant. Then, a massive spider lunges out of the shadows.
Getting a few kills and a few breakables. Now, unfortunately, there is no chest, though those egg nests do count as a breakable towards the breakables bonus experience there. So we're going to just continue along the left wall. And here we have just a little fight, nothing major. Once you kill the main named character, it does drop the barrier, allowing you to grab your second crest. Once again, head to the left. And this one has a little puzzle. Now there are 2 ways to solve this puzzle. You can actually just head right here and do it the easy way. Just hug that side, or if you want a more extravagant solve, which actually uses every piece, you can go that way as well. So as you can see, you can go up and around, or you can link up these 2 right here.
This should be
Either
enough
way.
crests to fill all of the sockets on the Minotaur's barrier.
Alright, either way, it does unlock the crest and lets you keep going. So if you continue heading down the left path here, it'll actually take you all the way right back to the very start, having killed all the enemies in the quest, and allowing you to get all those breakables. Now, if you'll notice, we're still only at Onslaught. There is one more to go for Conquest. Once we place the third crest, the barriers drop, the boss becomes active, but he also spawns in a few skeletons. Now,
With
if
all
we
three
stop
crests
to kill these
neatly fitted
skeletons
into their sockets,
first,
the magical barrier fades. The infuriated Minotaur gives a roar of rage and attacks.
it will give us that Conquest bonus.
Minotaur's
And there we
fire
go.
is cut short as it collapses. Now the treasure the creature had been guarding is yours for the taking.
You know what? I'll take those. Need some gloves anyway. And that mythic boost will give me a little bit more damage. And that's it for this quest. So we're now half done the quest on the Borderlands. I'm going to see if we could do one more. We still got a little bit of time. These quests are fairly quick. So I'm just going to head up here. So from that quest, you're going to want to just take across the bridge. And it will lead you to our next one. Right here. Which is our Bugbear Caves. Alright.
As you walk deeper into the cave, you hear deep, guttural voices in the distance. The stout iron lock on this door looks as though it would be impossible to pick.
So as soon as we walk in, we got a big door here. So obviously we can't go any further that way just yet. We need to come this path.
You notice a small iron key in the corner of the room.
So there's that key for our door. This quest does have us come a little bit back
The
and
iron
forth.
lock creaks as it opens. You hear hurried footsteps approaching. The smell of meat cooking wafts tantalizingly down the corridor.
Ooh, and there's a Carnage Reaper.
You notice
These
the
ones
glint
are
of
known
silver
for
in the
just
far
high
corner of
melee
this chamber.
damage. Alright. And once we killed everybody in the room, it does drop a silver key. As well as it has our first lever.
As the first lever is pulled, the crystal above it flares into life.
So the key is for here, and if you look when you highlight the door, it is the silver embossed. So that's
The
the
image of a
silver key
small
that you
silver
use.
key is embossed on this surprisingly well-crafted lock. As the silver lock clicks open, you hear the muffled voices of bugbears ahead.
Alright, so we're going to start by heading off to the east. As you can see, it does have a hidden door right here. This is completely optional. There's not even any extra experience that you get for coming here. All it has is a few collectibles. Now, if you ever do plan on getting into crafting in this game, I definitely recommend picking up as many collectibles as you can, as they are used for crafting. And you need a lot, so it's definitely worth going through and picking them up.
Huddled humans dressed in rags flinch away from the door as you open it.
Now, it also has some slaves that you can talk to free down both this path and if we go off to our west path here. And As you can see west here, just between the shrines, it has our other lever.
As the second lever is pulled, you can hear the rumble of the sealed door sliding open. As the door opens, you see several humans in chains crouching against the walls.
So you can talk to them here. I missed this one. And then it gives you a little bit extra experience. Now that we've pulled both of our levers, it's time to head back up towards the start. And we can make our way through our last door over here.
As you open the door, a massive bugbear growls and attacks. As the chieftain dies, you notice a small ornate key on the table in the far corner of the room.
Alright. Then we want to continue this way, and here's our key. As soon as we open the door,
The door to the treasury opens
That's
with
it.
a satisfying click.
now we can stop to break them. However, once a quest completes, if you look, we have 16 breakables. It will no longer count any of these breakables. So unfortunately, it
A
doesn't
large
actually
rusty
allow us to
lock
get
on
that
his
full.
chest looks like it
bonus
could be
there.
picked.
So it does have 2 chests. This one here, we can pick the lock, and it just gives us random trash loot. We call it trash loot. Sometimes you can't get some nice named items, like this one here. Vorpal gives them a neg level. That's kind of handy. And here's our end chest, which can have our named loot. Nothing which I want at the moment. Alright, and that's it. So we can go ahead and recall out of this. Now we've completed most of the quests out here in the Borderlands. We do just have a couple left. 3 left, I do believe. We'll just take a look here. Yeah, we've got our Temple of Evil Chaos. That is the very last one. We got one more around the corner for Orc Caves, and then we got the Shunned Cavern. So we'll get to those last 3 in the next video. The Orc Caves, just up here, is actually where it has our last charm that we need in order to collect all 3, which opens up an extra optional in the Temple of Evil Chaos. So I do recommend going through those quests and picking them up. Alright, well, thank you guys all for watching, and I will see you guys later. Have a good one all.